Today I was in the English department at a college where I teach. The office was decorated for Halloween, as they do every year. Last year, they were in a competition, and all of their decorations were a movie theme. This year, they really leaned into the spooky decor, Halloween here and there and everywhere. There were even stickers strewn about that combined both reading and literature with skeletons and ghosts and witches and images such as that. And I was struck by just how much material there is when you stop and look at it. And one of the things that caught my eye, or rather my ear, was a life-size black raven. Apparently, it was motion activated, such that if you were within probably 2 feet of this fake bird, it would activate it to move. It turned its head from right to left and let out a low, frightening little caw, caw. And I turned to the admin in the office and said, "Quoth the raven nevermore." There's so much to unpack here, and I'm not here today to talk about Edgar Allan Poe, Halloween, or horror, but rather to focus on the element of this animatronic being motion activated. I thought about myself and my writing, creativity, art making in various forms, and I wondered if it were possible to have something within my creativity that would be motion activated, so that when I was within the vicinity of a certain object, I couldn't help myself but to write or pick up a pen and draw, or even sketch out a garment to make in the future. Making something automatic is a way to trigger your creativity. But there are different things that you can do. Something like a talisman, where an object will prompt a reaction. You can do this for yourself. You can make a decision that maybe a pen, a special pen, maybe an object on your desk, maybe it's a certain fragrance, aromatherapy. When you smell this thing, you know that your next action has to be to create. Think about how you can automate your creativity. Take a couple minutes right now, sketch out 3 things you could do. One should be visual. Maybe it's a stone or a crystal or a little found object. Maybe it's a coin. Maybe it's a drawing or a phrase that you've printed out and tacked to your wall. Another should be a scent. Think about fragrances that you love, that you enjoy, but only let yourself have those when you're in your art making space. And if that art making space extends into much of the real world outside of your studio or your workroom, all the better. My laptop goes with me almost everywhere, but I'm not always in a mood to start writing. But if I had an essential oil, a body, some sort of a perfume, then maybe when I pull that out, I could actually condition myself. And I happen to have a little thing of peppermint oil that I keep with me in the car for those times when I'm feeling a little less than fully awake. And I have found that the scent of peppermint is stimulating. So that is an olfactory trigger. And then a third, let it be sound. Maybe it's a certain song that you always put on when you're about to create. Maybe it's a sound, listening to rainfall, listening to the ocean and the waves. Or maybe it's just white noise or the noise of a fan. So these three things, visual, olfactory, and sound, use these as a way to trigger, and think of them as the animatronic raven that turns its head and reacts, caw, caw, when something comes within its reach. I don't know how those things work. I don't need to know. But I do know this. We can trigger ourselves. We can use stimuli to condition ourselves into creative mode, creative making, whether it's writing, drawing, sewing, the hard arts of bending steel, working in wood, shaping clay, the environmental arts of planning out a room or a garden, the culinary arts. All of these, if you find yourself stuck, find the trigger, find the thing that will prompt you into creating. That's it for today. Discover your talisman, and I'll see you tomorrow. A biento.